Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, good evening. Welcome to the S.S.Chandhok talk show. I'm your host and moderator, S.S. Chandhok. We are here once again with a very eminent guest from Pan India with the different weathers we were talking about just now, that how the different weather is there. Like it is so much rain over there in, the south side or in the Bangalore side. So we were talking about that. Thanks to the technology, they have got us connected and we are knowing each other. We are going to talk about a very important topic today about mathematics, which even many of the principals get feared of. That when we talk about mathematics, it is not my forte, it is not my subject. So we are not talking about mathematics, doing the calculations or doing the questions. We are talking about that till grade 5 children, they feel very good about mathematics, but when it comes to middle school, they start have a fearing because of so many pressures that maths is going to be a big thing for them, and there they lose their interest in mathematics. So we are gathered here again with the eminent guest from Pan India and an expert also, Mr. Nirmal Shah from the maths department, you can say, who will guide us at that how we can remove this fear amongst the children with the use of technology. Without taking any time, I'll introduce you to the very first guest. Meenakshi ma'am, are you there? Okay.
I think she has joined.
Yeah, she has joined. We might be coming. So let's go for Manisha ma'am. We have Dr. Manisha Sharma ma'am. She is the principal of Venkateshwar International School, Delhi. Welcome, ma'am, once again after a long time. It's good to see you again on the show. And thank you so much for coming, ma'am. Please let us know about yourself. Are you in this profession by chance or by choice? And how did you rose from a teacher to a principal? Because always we say that when we were teachers, I also have the same thing in my mind. Okay, the principal, she comes in a long car and sits in an AC office, so good time she has. So that karma is coming to us. Now we are principals. We are able to understand what sort of good time we have right now. So how it is not so easy to reach at this place, the destination. You have to put up a lot of hard work, and so many years you have to give in that lot of hard work. You cannot, this is the only profession where you directly cannot become a principal. You have to prove yourself to be a very good teacher. Then you will become an administrator after that. Manisha ma'am, over to you, ma'am, about yourself, ma'am.
Thank you so much, and my greetings to you and all the esteemed panelists. First of all, I'll just thank you, sir, that you give us such a platform wherein we connect with so many other co-panelists and we get to know each other. Because there should be many more such platforms where we can share our views. Of course, like others has said, that maths is not my forte, but as a leader, I can certainly share my perspective thereafter. About me, I am in this profession more than 3 decades, since my husband was in transferable job. So I taught, I think, every kind of school, whether it's Catholic school, Protestant school, government school, central school, IB school. And now from last 20 years, I'm in Delhi, I'm teaching. And I certainly say I'm very passionate about my profession. It's not by anything like any pressure, but it is by choice. I think since child, I really was always willing, used to enact just like any other child, like a teacher. But my father was a university professor, and I loved the day I finished my education, teaching, learning, share my knowledge. And that is what I immensely believe in. Thank you so much for having invited me.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. Ma'am, which was your first school as a teacher, ma'am?
Oh, that was in Agra St. Peter's College. And I was just 23 years old. And I joined this all boys college, and they used to make fun of me. But I really then took charge. And after 3 months, I could really manage myself and control those senior boys while teaching English. And that is the joy. Teaching is a very, very gratifying profession. I started teaching as an English teacher for junior school, and then I rose to senior school and working as a resource person, writer, speaker, motivational person. And I really love each and every aspect of teaching. Be it, I don't mind assisting my teachers, be there in the examination for anything. That is the love. The moment you see children, and I serve for each one of us who is sitting there, these 2 years have been an acid test for each one of us. They took a toll, not only the parent and children, but each one of us as a school leader, as a school teacher too. So that's what I can say. And from Dhanbad, Ahmedabad, Gujarat, I really enjoyed in so many different parts of India being the teacher, then visited, of course, and spent few months there also in Geneva, International School of Geneva.
That's great, ma'am. That's great. And I have seen that 80% of the principals are PGT English. They're English teachers only. So that is there. As well as, ma'am, about the age, you are right. Please saying that when we see the small ones, the kids,
Yes.
the whatever the it is in our mind, a smiling face comes up when you see them, and we never grow up above 18. We are always between the age of 3 to 18. So we will never grow up above 18. If they say you are retiring, they are wrong. We never grow up above 18 because we are in that age group. So we will not grow from there. Thank you so much, ma'am, and
Thank you
welcome,
so
ma'am.
much.
Thank you so much. Then we have Meenakshi Mehra, ma'am. Meenakshi Mehra, ma'am, she is the principal of Shri Chaitanya Techno Public School, Chennai. Welcome, ma'am, once again, Meenakshi, ma'am. Ma'am, you can put your mobile in horizontal. That will picture will be big. And ma'am is not basically, if I remember, ma'am, you are not basically from Chennai. Please introduce yourself, ma'am. And again, you came in this profession by chance or by choice, and now as a principal, ma'am. Ma'am, I think you are on mute. You're not audible. I think now you're audible, ma'am.
Now audible. Okay. So
Yes,
this was the problem. Thank you so much for inviting me again, and I'm very happy to be a part of this. Where many people are there, and it's an honor to be again a part of the discussion. Well, a very small thing. It was not by a chance; it was by a choice where I wanted to be into this profession. As a student, I was a BCom student, then I shifted again. My father just told me, why don't you try BA? Why don't you go ahead with that, if you don't want to do statistics? Because I was scared of maths. So I didn't want to go into accountancy field, and I was really scared. Like again, I have to study so much, and again I have to be. Ultimately, I'll be an accountant. So my father said, if you want to go, you go ahead and try with BA. So I have a full merry-go-round, and I studied BA. I did BEd, and I did so many courses just to be a full-fledged teacher. So I started as a preschool teacher, and then I became a coordinator. And my first class, which was given to me, was maths, even though it was not my subject. So I was a maths teacher, but my subject was English. As you said, all principals, all teachers they choose English only. Even my subject was English, but unfortunately or fortunately, I was given maths. So later on, I became HOD of maths, and the more I went into the subject, I was like, okay, I can do that, and I was able to pull out to some extent. By profession, I am an educationist. I am into this industry from past 11 years, and now I work as a principal. I am a coach also, and I am a speaker also in many different shows. Plus, I am a resource person for 2, 3 different universities where I just provide resources to them. I'm still learning. I'm still a learner. I'm not to that level where all people are so educated and they are like to my height. I'm very small in front of them today. Feeling very small today.
Ma'am, is it that you're trying to hide your age?
I know.
No, you are saying that everybody is senior to me. I'm so young. So see, the only complex or the crime is when you say a female ask a female about her age.
No. I never got this by knowledge. Everybody is so knowledgeable today, present here. So I'm feeling like I don't know much about it. So people are, my seniors are there today. So I feel
humility.
Yeah, I'm just joking, ma'am. You have a lot of experience. I've been seeing you in the media that how wonderful you are doing over there with the universities and so many social works you are doing. Thank you so much, ma'am, and welcome. Thank you for coming on the show again. Then we have Rosie Jain, ma'am. She's the principal of Shefali International School, Ludhiana. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for coming, ma'am. Please, you also let us know about yourself because you have come for the first time. So we would like to know, and people who will be seeing this show, we like to know about your educational journey. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So as you have already introduced that myself is Rosie Jain and I am educationist and I am here by choice teaching is my passion. So I have done masters in history, master in economics, and MEd. Along with that, I have got the certification from Harvard University for family engagement, and I have done that curriculum for living from Landmark Education, that is US based company. So learning is lifelong, so I am part of it, and I am happy to share the panel with Manisha ma'am, Meenakshi ma'am, and Deepa Chandan ma'am, everyone. So it's my privilege to be here, sir. Thank you.
Ma'am, are you basically from Ludhiana?
Yes, Pottenwood.
So which was your first school as a teacher, ma'am?
As a teacher, I joined Shivali Public School, where my mother was a teacher. Yeah.
Okay. So since then you had been here.
No.
And
then I was shifted in Alliances Day boarding school, and then my third school was Shivali International School. From 2006, I am in Shivali International School. So that is my third school.
so they have branches, more branches also.
Right.
That's great, ma'am. Because you were saying I was in Shivali International, then I went to Shivali International, then I went to Shivali International. So I was a little confused that is this that the same Shivali or not. So in Ludhiana only all the 3 schools are there.
Yeah.
That's great, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming.
Thank you.
Then we have.
Mine.
Thank you, ma'am. Then we have Hema Kadakwati, ma'am. She is the principal of APS Academy, Lucknow. Ma'am has always been our boss. We as the principals have been getting training from her. And now, I have taken the courage to call her on the show again that, ma'am, please come to our show and please tell your views about the topic, because she is dynamic. She is dynamic when you listen to her in the show. She is very dynamic and very down to earth. And she is my neighbor also in Lucknow. I'm from Kanpur and she's from Lucknow. Welcome, ma'am, and thank you so much for coming, ma'am. You don't need any introduction, but still, please let people know about yourself.
Thank you so much, sir. Good evening, everyone. I'm honored and it's a privilege that you have called me again. Thank you so much. What to tell me? I'm a principal, I'm an educationist and sharing the same platform as you all are. So we are all in a same page. Thank you for calling, sir.
Ma'am, please let us know about yourself, ma'am. Where did you started your career and how did you reach the principal?
I started my career from this school only. My school name is APS Academy. In 98, I joined. As a front counter executive, and then I came into teaching, and after that,
That's great, ma'am. That's great, ma'am. That means around 24 years. You were there in the same school, started from there till now. It's a very big thing staying in this school for more than 2 decades, almost 2.5 decades actually, staying over there. And ma'am has a very big potential. She can speak from what happened last time when ma'am was there in the show. 9 to 5 o'clock she gave the training session, and 5 she was here on my show and was there till 6:30 or 7 o'clock. And the same caliber was there, which was in the morning 3 and 9 o'clock. The same caliber was there in the evening 6 o'clock.
Thank you, sir. People like you who are around me, they give us the energy you all give me, and the motivation also I get from the praises which you are doing. Thank you so much for that.
Pleasure is mine, ma'am. Same to you also, because people like you have motivated me to start up this show also. We get motivated from each other actually. Thank you so much, ma'am. Next, we have Dr. Deepa Chandran, ma'am. She is the principal of Shri Sarda Vidyalaya, Kerala. Welcome, ma'am, and thank you so much for coming again. Although you are also very busy, but you wanted to come into the session for maths, and that's a very solid subject which everybody gets feared of. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming. Deepa, ma'am, please let us know about yourself. People like to know your journey as an educationist.
Good evening and namaste. I come from, thank you for inviting me once again. I don't know what made you me to invite me to once again to this show, but it was so happy to share this platform. I come from a school now, Sri Sharda Vidyalaya, which is the birthplace of Adi Shankaracharya. It's Kaladi, and we belong to a Sringeri Mutt, where, like the teachings of Adi Shankara is so echoing in this land. So really blessed to be here. I have a career of 25 years in the field of being a principal for 20 years, and before that as a teacher. With Bhavan's group for some year, Bhardev Vidya Bhavan, then Shabrigiri, and then now on to Sri Sharda Vidyalaya from past 3-4 years. And actually, when you talked about mathematics, I was thinking I have got my post graduation in economics and maths. I like in English, and maths was actually subject which had at times triggered a fear in our mind. How and what made. So when I as a principal came into the seat, I always made it particular that the teachers make this fear factor out of the students in the first factor. That is the first thing, and how to make it interesting. So that is the only experience which I have when I talk about mathematics. A CBSE awardee for 2014 and President's Award in 2017. These are the only, achievements, and still a learner. I am doing my psychology, inclusive education, which is a passionate for me. Actually, everybody said it was a choice, but when I took over when I started my teaching career, that was when I was doing my B.Ed. But actually, it all happened by chance that I got admitted to do B.Ed. But when I started my B.Ed course, I understood that in me there was a great passion for teaching, and I found. And I never dreamt of going to colleges for teaching or any, because the school was that which had always attracted me, and that also keeps people like us young, because we are with the children always. And thank you once again, and very nice to share this platform with all these veterans. Thank you.
Pleasure is mine, ma'am. Thank you so much. And as you said, you have got only these 2 awards. These are only the original awards. Rest of the awards are fake. Whatever we are getting on the different platforms and the posters or the people or everybody is putting up, that is all fake. The real awards you have got, ma'am. We still have to reach. Some of us have to reach. Still have to reach over there. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming, and you have a wonderful experience. Thank you so much. And it feels very pleasure, especially when I'm calling people from Kerala, Malalapuram, and many places. The Saudi presidents, they all had been coming, and we try to know about the culture. People are not knowing the culture. When you talk to the people, when you meet them, when you greet them, when you are there with for some time with them, you come to know about their culture. And when you see, I have now more respect for Kerala, because I am associated with many people as of now, because of this this wonderful initiative which I have taken because of the wonderful technology. So when you are talking to people from Jammu, when you're talking to people from South people, so I love South people, the Kerala people and the South people, because whatever is in UP and Bihar is nowhere in India. You will understand what I want to say. But when we talk about South, the people are very innocent and they are always ready to help. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming. And I hope you will also, like the show and will come again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
As we were talking about mathematics fear during the middle school, all the principals have also shared that there was a fear. And when I became a principal, I wanted to remove this thing. But 2 fears we have to remove actually when you are in all the parts of the country, English and maths. The 2 basic things we have to common things are over there. I met one of very good personality, Mr. Nirmal Shah. His sir is over there, and he told me about that there are certain things which can remove the phobia. He told me so many examples that even teachers who are teaching the maths, they have the phobia sort of things when you talk about mathematics. So how this phobia can be removed? He met me in a session. I requested him to come for a few shows and enlighten us that how we can help the kids, how we can help the teachers to remove this phobia. Although, let me give you the formal introduction. He is the co-founder of Counting Well, a maths learning app for our middle schoolers. The goal is to make mathematics learning easy, anxiety-free, and participative for children across the country. Their focus is to help the so-called average students become more confident with maths and develop great problem-solving skills. They step in where school teachers are not able to provide personalized attention due to lack of time and bandwidth. Because the teacher says, I have 40 students and I have a 40-minute period. He's also designing career person, and a life lesson course he has made for 10 to 14 years of age group built around mathematics. His funda is that kids must know that maths matter and it will matter throughout their life. The best ways to do that, it is to show them how. And sir has an experience of more than 2 decades. I won't go for that, a long introduction he has. Thank you so much, sir, and welcome, sir. You are today's expert again for this show. And please let us know about yourself and about to the principals also, that how did it came into your mind to start up with the app like Counting Well, and especially with the middle schools, and what this actually is and how this is helping the teachers as well as the students. So
Thank you, sir, for inviting me again to this illustrious panel. It's always been a wonderful experience talking to administrators and principals from various schools across the country. And there has always been a common thread, right? That everybody starts to see and believe that the maths anxiety starts to come from middle school, especially, and that there are various reasons for that. But I feel that the primary reason for maths anxiety is the fear of failure. The children are made to believe that, especially in maths, it's a black and white subject. You either get it right or you get it wrong. And if you get it wrong, then you are not smart. And that whole aura that we create around the subject and getting it right is what is causing this anxiety around mathematics. In English, you can imagine and write your own things, write your own words, and it is the imagination which is rewarded at times, or more often than not. And children are okay with that. In other subjects too, you can still mix a little bit of creativity, a little bit of imagination, a little bit of knowledge. But in maths, you either have to do it or you don't, and that's what causes this anxiety. So when we started Counting Well, we started with looking at our own children. My son was just getting into middle school, and I was experiencing his anxiety firsthand. It wasn't exactly anxiety. What I realized is that it was how he was solving the problems and how we were trying to identify why he is not able to solve the problems, or what are the learning gaps, so to speak. This is a term that I learned much later. At that time, it was really just trying to understand what's really going on. Why is he not able to solve the problem, right? And my co-founder and I at that time decided that let's try to just assess what is this problem that the children are facing. So using technology, we both come from a technology background. So using technology, we created a small assessment, and we identified in our own way a structure for problem solving. So we realized that when children try to solve problems, especially when they get to middle school and above, the problem solving does not just involve understanding or knowledge of the formula or knowledge of the topic, but it also involves their ability to comprehend the question. So there is a kind of English language involvement in mathematics as well. Then it also requires them to model a solution or create some kind of a strategy to solve a problem before they solve the problem. So then we tried to figure out, is there a way to understand, is the child failing because he's having a problem in the comprehension, or is it because he's having problem in modeling a solution, or is he having a problem in knowledge of the topic itself? So based on that, we created a simple assessment. We took it to a few schools. We got in touch with some schools and we said, let's do a kind of a pilot and see if the way we are doing this assessment and what we are thinking that these are the kind of gaps that the children have, are these right or not? We were not from the education background, so obviously for us, it was all new, and we were trying to validate our own thinking as well. But in a way, it turned out to be very interesting because we were taking a very outside look at the whole thing, right? When you are too deeply inside, you don't really see a big picture. Now we were looking at it entirely from outside, and we said that first we have to identify where these gaps are, and then let's attack the problem. So we did this assessment, and about 1,500 students took this assessment between class 6 to 8. And then we started identifying these problems. So one of the biggest issue we found was comprehension, that they were not able to understand the question. So where is the question of actually solving the problem, right? Then came modeling, and then it was all the knowledge of the concepts. Now, a very interesting thing happened while we were doing this. A couple of the principals they said that, can you even give this assessment to our teachers who are teaching these same students? And we said, sure, why not? Let's do that. It would be a very interesting experiment for us as well. So we gave them the same assessment. About 15 teachers took the assessment. And very surprisingly, wherever the children were failing, the teachers were also failing. And it was, it was a shock to us, because we thought that at least the teachers should be knowing better. But then it dawned on us that it's really flowing down. The gaps that the teachers have are the same gaps that the children are having. The second thing that happened was even more shocking. There was an 8th grade teacher, which I remember, and she was not able to solve a problem. Now, she wanted to get it right, but there was no way to get it right, because she was not able to solve it. And she called me and she said, I cannot attempt this problem because this is a 6th grade problem, and I am an 8th grade teacher, so I don't know the 6th grade topic. So it was like, it's out of syllabus for me. So it was very strange for us, because we thought that if you are an 8th grade teacher, and especially maths is a subject which really adds up, right? From 5th, what you learn goes to 6th and 7th, and it builds up on that. So why is this problem coming? And that's when we realized that, one, there are gaps in the teachers and there are gaps in the children. And secondly, there are these issues where the learning has to be built up, but the teachers are not focusing on building up that learning. So if an 8th grade child is not going to be able to solve the 8th grade problem, the teacher is not going to look and try to determine if it is because the child is not able to understand something from 7th grade or 6th grade, and they will not attempt to help the child from that perspective. So that's where we stood. And then we took all these results to the principals and said, this is what we have identified. And they said, it's all very nice. They were very nice to us. They talked to us, and then they said, all this is fine, but how do you solve this problem? Right? So you have given us the problem. You have shown us the problem. We already know this is the problem, but now give us a solution. So that was the genesis of Counting Well. We said that we cannot simply identify the problem for people. That's no good. The whole country, everybody is an armchair philosopher. Everybody is an armchair investigator. You identify a lot of problems, but we need to be able to be at the forefront and solve these problems. So that's when we started building Counting Well as a learning solution as well. So the way we have structured it now is that it becomes a tool for the school and the teachers, where they can assign homework in one form to the children. The children would then go and learn on the app, complete this homework, do the learning, and we will extract the data based on what the child is doing right and wrong, and show the teacher where the learning gaps are for every subject. I mean, for mathematics, for every chapter, for every concepts, for every learning objective, or for every learning outcome. So having structured it that way, now we are able to show the mirror to the teacher as well, that this is where the gaps are. We are able to assist the children in filling the gaps, and hopefully it will also become a tool for the teacher to fill their own gaps. So that's how we build it.
That's amazing. It's a wonderful concept you have created. Other things also we'd like to understand from you in the later part of the show.
Sure.
Thank you, sir, for coming and sparing your time for us. And welcome, sir. We'll come up to the next part of the show. It will be I'll not call it as a question round, but a suggestion round. And I'll request the participants to make your answer very precise. I'll come up to Meenakshi ma'am first. Meenakshi ma'am, I'd like to ask you that mathematics, as we are saying, has become a burden. It had been a burden since long in the middle school. According to you, what are the reasons behind it?
My answer already sir has given. So in fact, in that only I was just calculating, and I had written while coming back home. It is when we talk about maths, it's like a demon standing in front of us, or the students when we talk about, okay, we are going to take maths or some maths class, a demon suddenly appears and everybody is like shocked. So there are two things which I believe is the phobia and the anxiety, which hits the children very hard. So the main reason I would like to mention here is like the students, they develop maths phobia in all the learning age, especially from 4th grade to 8th grade. This is what I have personally seen. It's my personal experience to that, where 4th and 8th is a very tender age, and where they have fear for all the subjects. It can be, I'm not here, talking pertaining to especially maths, but yes, language as The sir said English is used in maths. So we have to judge whether the teacher and the educator has to be very precise on judging the students, whether it is English, which the question he's not able to understand, or the mathematics problem, what he's not able to understand. So that is how the assessment should be done. That is one reason. Second thing which I want to put up here is the teachers, especially the educators. They are what I have seen. And 2 days before, I have gone to one place to take a seminar, and we were just discussing, and the teachers were coming up, and they came to me and like, ma'am, we are facing problem in this particular subject. So I told one of the teacher, as he said, he has taken it the same example, but the same maths teacher was being told to solve a 6th grade problem. In my case, I have given an English teacher a maths subject to go on the board and just solve the problem. She was not able to do that. Ma'am, it's not my subject. I'm not able to do that. But you are a teacher. First thing, if you are an educator, you have to be open to everything and you have to be ready for any challenge. This is what I feel. It depends totally on the educator and the parent. So both goes, hand in hand. It's like a engine that we goes parallelly all together. So here the teacher was not able to solve the problem because it's not my subject. So why should I take it? So that was the first excuse given to me. Second thing which I believe is textbooks. The teacher, especially the maths teacher, should go beyond the textbook, should have resources beyond the textbook. It's not sticking to the textbook. This example is there. This is what we'll do 100 times, 10 times, mug it up, go. No, you have to explain the students. It has to be, concepts should be clear. Here, the teachers themselves, they are not, clear with the concepts. They are not able to clear their own concepts. Forget about the students, they are poor people. How will they, the concepts will be clear. But the main reason, which I think is directly or indirectly, the educators and the parents. They force the students, they are enforcing them to be, you will be, Mr. Rohan's son has got 95%. You should also get 95% or you should get above that. So what are we doing? We are, putting pressure on the children. So first of all, we should stop that. Then we should understand what is wrong with the child. So as, a gentleman has said that because his own child, he has analyzed that. So we, as a parent, we need to analyze, we as an educator, we need to analyze what is wrong going on. Everything has been given, good education, good tuition. So I remember, I'll give my example. When I was in 8th standard, where my father, has kept me in tuition. So I used to go in, especially maths tuition. So whenever I used to go, and out of the moon, it used to be one maths textbook and one maths digest. This is what we used to do. We never had Google at that time. So maths textbook and maths digest. So I just went and told her, this is the sum where I am not able to solve the problem. So he said, ये तो textbook में नहीं है. So you follow this and do that. So something extra came out. He was not able to do that, because now I feel that why I'm beginning this thing, because they didn't have a resource. They have to resource themselves. They have to go beyond the textbook, beyond the, whatever you have to think beyond it. You have to practice yourself. Then you have to bring it to the students. 3 things which I personally believe is the reason for that. Number 1 is imposed authority. You have to do, no matter what. You have to bring so much of marks. Second is, discrimination between subjects. And because the students are very new to algebra and arithmetics from 4th standard, so the pressure is really high on the students till they understand what is going on in their subjects. Third is the deadlines, what we give them. You have to finish this, exams are coming, finish this and, mug and go out. So when the concepts are not clear, the only option left is mugging up and going out and giving exam. What happens is, I believe when maths as a subject is a architectural subject, it's a building block. It's like Legos. The more your foundation is clear, the more stable your building will be, and the more levels of floors you can build. It all depends on the foundation. So foundations should be clear from the very tender age, and it's not about middle school. I will go a little more to the younger crowd also.
Ma'am, Meenakshi ma'am, in one line, we can say whatever you want to say. What I feel is, a good teacher can change your life.
Exactly.
You didn't got a good teacher in grade 8. That is why you didn't had a lot of interest in mathematics. But if you have a good teacher, it can be any subject, and it's especially for mathematics. When the teacher himself is not able to solve the problem out of the book, So that means he is not capable of teaching. He wasn't very good teacher. He has just learned the answers. What we can say, we should not say that, but we can say that he was not capable. Ma'am Meenakshi, man, I'll give you an example for that. When 25 years back, when I joined my first school and I went to the principal on the second day to thank him for appointing me. So he said, you don't say thanks to me, say thanks to these kids who you keep inside the school. And these are the kids who will show you the way out.
Yeah.
So that is very important. When the teacher is not capable, the students of 21st century, they are very smart. They do this. You don't have to do as an instructor. You don't have to do anything. They will make decision and tell you that this is right and this is wrong for sure.
That's true, sir. So today, in today's generation, where we all are techno savvies, and more than us, the children are. They know. Now, so many apps are coming up to get your concepts clear. So it's very easy for them, but it's very, on the same contrary, it's very important for the teachers to understand and clear the doubts, because when the level is high of the student, when he's asking questions, the teacher should, be on the level higher to understand and explain the same concept.
Yes,
it should not be, it's a vague question. You should not ask these kind of question in class. You have to focus on what we have. Yes, we have to, complete the syllabus in a particular frame of time, but we have to focus on, we have to listen to what they want to say. We have to clear their doubts. We have to, increase the morale of a child by understanding, not letting them sit down. So this is
for sure, ma'am, when the teacher is not having the thorough knowledge of the subject, because subjects like mathematics and accountancy, you need to have a very practical knowledge. Yeah. I had been throughout my life, I had been the accountancy teacher. We were not confined to books only. There were many questions students used to ask from different schools from me, that what if this happens and what will happen then? If 1 second, if you are not right, 1 second they'll pick you up and throw you out for sure. So when you are confident about a subject, the child will respect you throughout your life. Throughout, if he's grown up, he's married, if kids are there, if kids have become big, they will come and respect you. They will come and bow your hand. I mean, they will पैर छुएंगे आपके आके आपको बहुत सारा respect देंगे. The respect has to be earned. You cannot get respect. We were giving respect according to the fear in our time, but now you have to earn your respect. This is more important with the teachers, ma'am. Right, ma'am.
One thing which here it is, what I always tell is being, belonging, and becoming. So this is what I tell my teachers. So we have to be, belong, and then become. So this is, you have to teach the students also.
Of course, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. We will come to Manisha Sharma, ma'am. Manisha, ma'am, your also views on the same topic. That what are the reasons behind, like, where middle school students are taking mathematics as a burden? Ma'am, you're on mute.
My thoughts are extension of my previous speakers, being a child who has really suffered like this. So I made it a point when I became teacher that I will really go, and when I became promoted further as a principal, I started attending each and every class. I've tried to find out what is the reason, what happens. Then there's so much, we do not lack any IQ or something is there. I'm sure that 100% children have all the very good IQ, but why there is so much scare and fear from mathematics, and that is there. So I started attending from all third, fourth, fifth, at least 2-3 classes every day. And it was an eye-opener. What my previous speaker rightly said, that the learning gap is very much, we really need to know. Like when I was in 5th, all of a sudden when I reached 6th, I was knowing very well that there was huge gap. In fact, there was no coordination between those who were teaching in the foundational and preparatory teachers and the one who were teaching in middle teachers. So this is my very, very humble plea to all educators who will be listening our thoughts, that there has to be a coordination, there has to be brainstorming sessions amongst all teachers, those who are teaching primary, those that means now preparatory years or foundational years, where we talk about early numeracy, where the concepts are there. It's not learning 1, 2, or 3 or greater or less. What is that? The concept has to be absorbed, and further it extends when they come in grade 5th, when unitary method or additions, of course, the basic operations. Then 6th, 7th, 8th is the building block for grade 9, 10th, and 11th, 12th. In reality, whatever the child is learning in grade 7 is very much connected to grade 9th, and whatever child is learning in grade 8 is connected to grade 10th. So it is very, very important that teachers must have coordination. They should know when we talk about joy of learning. I don't think so. There is used to be any more joy, but now we are very thankful to innovative pedagogical practices, where is the new trends are setting, where we are doing a lot of reflection, chintan, manan, and thinking that what is to be done, what is happening, and how can we really, now the whole scenario is getting into, change, problem solving is there. And what for me, mathematics is not only a subject, it's a very, very important life skill, and it has to be integrated in so many ways, which is so important. When we talk about, like, I have seriously started integrating with all the things, whether you talk about your Amazon, or you take about your whoever is delivering, what is the percentage, you just try to learn mathematics to that. That is very, very important. And for me, of course, the teachers are there, because most of the teachers, with due respect to all educators and my salute, but still the perspective and the mindset need to be changed. The teachers are very rigid. If they are teaching in a particular way of right angle, then there's no other way of teaching that angle. All right, it cannot know it cannot be taught in many different ways, and they not accept the answers also. They want the child should only answer in the same way. So it is more theoretical still. However, we talk about mathematical labs, experiential learning, relating with the everyday thoughts and experiences, but it is very, very theoretical. We teach children just simply some formulas, but why and hows are missing. Why is it connected? Why are they learning? It is very, very important. The entire room, the classroom is itself a resource. So many things can be taught. Children are so weak in mensuration. They're so poor in the concept of estimate. Why is it so? Because we do not connect mathematics with the real life. Still, it is going on just in the theoretical way. So it is very humble plea that we really need to change as leaders. We really need to change the perspective. That is our duty. That is, we are the solution providers. We need to empower our teachers. We have to make them more accepting or open-ended type of questions. Why not? There can be a case study which they can relate. If the child is from Kerala's village, there can be a problem based on the farmer of that area, where they can understand, and then they can deduce the mathematical fact. This should be the right way. That is very, very important. The relevance of the topic should be very much explained, that why are we learning. I still remember my child used to ask why I'm learning social science, why I need to learn so much chemistry. That part is very much to be answered by these school leaders. We need to find the pathways where we can lead our school mathematics teachers, that they really need to give them more experiences when we talk about problem-based learning and so many other things. So that is very, very important. The commercial mathematics is there in class 8, which is so much related with the share interest, property division, and all fixed deposit, that can be very well taught with so many practical examples, everyday life. I have seen children enjoying when they are going to the field for clinometer activity, and when they are taking measurements. Why not gamification happening? This has to be practiced with the very clear learning objectives. That is very, very important.
Methods have to be changed, ma'am.
Yes.
I will again take an example, that a greengrocer is coming in your lane and you're offering him that you give this quantity, this thing, this. Different quantities you're asking, and within few seconds, he's illiterate. He'll tell you how much money you have to pay. If you give the same question to the child in a word problem form, he'll start using the formulas, and he'll take so much time. A plus B whole square is equal to A square plus B square plus 2AB. But why? If this is what you want to say, I think.
Yes.
That is why is being cleared. Maths, the children will love that mathematics. And how this can happen, Nirmal sir will tell us afterwards that how we can.
One thing more I would like to add, Chandhok, one thing more. We teachers need to criticize our children a lot. Why these calculations? Why these less marks? Why these calculations are wrong? It is nothing wrong to error it. Of course, we need to accept, somebody said, accept failures. That is very, very important. So let's be very open.
Right.
That is there.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. It's a very big topic to talk about, but we have a limitation of time also. We'll come up to Rosie, ma'am. Ma'am, your question. What are your views about the saying that mathematics is not only about numbers, it is also about understanding?
Very good question you have asked. Mathematics is not only numbers means working out with number, that is come under numeracy skill, which is the part of mathematics. I can say that is the subset of the bigger one. So there is misconception I must say that mathematics is mother of all the sciences. One require logical thinking, critical thinking, and analytical thinking to solve the mathematical problems. If you see, you can say that maths is available in all the walk of life. You talk about housewife, while cooking, they use mathematics. They need ratio and proportion, know the ratio and proportion estimation. At the same time, if you talk about businessmen, they also need mathematics. So this is not only related to number, this is very vast subject. For instance, if you say like we are having a park which is of 441 square meter. Now I want that fencing should be done. How much wire is needed? So if the child read the problem, the child, first of all, the reading skill are required. The child should know the language, mathematical language. What is square meter? It means they have given us the area. If area is given, so what is required? So concept of area is known, perimeter is known, and how to calculate that square root is known. Only then the child will be able to solve this problem. So it means what is required? Logical thinking, analytical thinking, mathematical language, language ability to understand it, and how to solve, what strategy the child has to use, that is required to solve the problem. So mathematics is not only the numbers or equation, or you can say computation. It is about learning and understanding.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Very good concept in precise form. Thank you so much. We'll come up to Hima, ma'am. Hima, ma'am, your views on the saying that mathematics is not only about numbers, it is about understanding. Ma'am, you're on mute. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Whatever ma'am has, Rosie ma'am said, it's not about only numbers. Maths is more than numbers, but the only thing is how we um, help the learners to learn and understand that it is what is it about. So in the beginning, Minakshi ma'am said that if we relate it with the day-to-day work and other thing, then they will come to know about it. So purpose should be known to students. So it's not just about numbers; it is more than that, and that should be known to the learners. And when we say purpose, why they are learning, why they are learning these numbers, what is the relevance of these the subject. So this should be known, and if we are going to integrate with the other subjects, then also many things will be easier for the child to understand. So these I think when the purpose is known, when the content is clear, and content means the material or the relevant to the world around them, then it is I think it is more than numbers. And for that, again, motivation from the teachers and how they work on it, how they make understand the students, that is what we will say, that it is more than just numbers.
Right, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. That's the quality of a good leader. Our principal. You had in. Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll yes, ma'am. We will.
आप मजाक
अरे मैम, यू आर ऑलवेज अवर बॉस मैम, यू रिमेन ऑलवेज अवर बॉस मैम. व्हाट आर यू सेइंग? मजाक कैसे कर सकते हैं? आप जैसे से मजाक करेंगे तो हम कहाँ जाएंगे? थैंक यू सो मच मैम. We'll come up to Deepa ma'am. Deepa ma'am, we'd like to know that about your views on the saying that technology makes mathematics more easy and interesting.
Namaste. I was so happy to hear to a lot of inputs which is given to all of us today now. Like when you were talking about this, I remember the 1 week back, we had a session on pedagogical planning. So when we were having that session, one of the concepts which we were discussing at that time was, in schools, we are taught about sine theta, cos theta, and tan theta, and we still don't know what to do with that thetas all. And so what is the use of it? These sine theta, cos theta, all are used to measure the height of a place, or all these things we come to know when we become teachers, because we research on how to teach and how as principals, when we have taken some other subjects. I always had a view that, mostly when Meenakshi was, ma'am, somebody was telling, I think we were not a maths teacher. The first subject which was given to us was teaching in, yes, Meenakshi ma'am. So I think that was the best experience a principal can give you, because once when you don't know the subject as such a master of that subject, we will work on more to reach up to the children. That makes us more better. So this is how, when we become principals, we understand that max, there is a fear with what we have to do. So first thing which I understood from my beginning is that, why myself as an example, why we had a fear was that the one first thing, as Mr. Nirmal has said, it is just because we understand. We had a fear that it is black and white, we will fail if we don't do it. Other things, at least we will get a minimum pass mark if we have around all the things and we have produced it. So we always had a fear, and we go with that fear, and that will end up in. Another thing is, as he said, comprehension. So when we look into the national education policy, why the importance of national education policy in the primary is for building a strong foundation for numeracy and literacy, is that unless and until the child comprehends what the child has been put into, then only the child can apply the mathematical concepts also. So like, if that is strong enough, the middle class will become easy, and even the higher classes will become easy, because the foundation is strong. And that is where actually some of us lacked, because as he said, I had also a teacher who, had to always, after doing some problem, she used to say, at the end of the chapter, there are question number 1, 2, 3, which is homework, and question number 5, 6, 7 has been done on the board. We will copy. We will go home and we are not able to do. Next day morning, we'll come and copy from the child who knows very well, and we will copy that and we'll present it, and that our answer is given. So we are okay with that. And the end of the examination, some of them are toughing, and some of them which we can pass, we will pass, and we will move on. But at the end of the day, when we reach to the 10th standard, the teachers, when the children starts failing, they say the base was not good. The question comes to again to the same school, that why the base was not good. But now I feel, mathematical concepts, when it is becoming, mostly are abstract, like when you got them to calculate volume. So this technology, actually, it's going to help us a lot, because I think COVID was a positive stroke on all the teachers in one way. It is because it would have taken many time for technology to come in. Now, suddenly we were put into a place where we have to swim somehow. So we all changed to technology. And so the teachers also started using technology, and more opportunities for learners to see and interact with mathematical concepts. So students can explore and, make discoveries with games and the simulations of digital tools. So educators can use this technology to boost the student engagement and make the max class more, like game-based learning was done. Then video presentations, mathematical concepts and applied in everyday life can be illustrated to the students. So when the children play in a fun games and fun way, they have digital solutions. When they get it immediately, they are eager to get into, and the concepts become very much concrete for them. And max-based humor is also actually a new concept which has come in YouTube channels. I think there are wing for that. So that also will help children, because most of them are into the social media. And as Counting Well, as Nirmal Shah sir has put it, there are math websites which the student teachers can. Learning outside classrooms also happens in a technological world, which is always an interesting for children. So the variety of max concept put in a different ways can be used by the teacher and can be also used by the students, and they can use it on their own timing. That is what technology has brought them, and has helped the max to learn more. So, and then on their own, digital solutions, technology have the potential to present the max topic in interesting ways. So I think technology has made the learning of teaching and learning of max more concrete, and in a more, friendly way. The children doesn't have a fear at their pace when they learn. If they commit mistakes also, there is nobody to tell them that it is a wrong. So you go back, and then you are being cornered in a classroom. So because the technology is the one which is they are interacting to. So they have the way to correct and learn and relearn and all that. So this fun-based learning, all these together, I think technology has helped
Absolutely
many
right,
of our
ma'am.
students to learn maths better.
Absolutely, Deepa ma'am, you're absolutely right, because students of 21st century, they feel shy if I'll ask in the question in the classroom. So everybody will make fun of me. कि ये तुमको आता नहीं, you don't know this. And when you are using technology just one-to-one, nobody's going to make fun of you. That is very important. Thank you so much, Deepa ma'am. We'll come up to Nirmal sir. Nirmal sir, first of all, as an expert, we have heard all the principles that what are the problems, what are the things which are being faced during the middle school mathematics, especially maybe from 4 to 8 or it may be from 6 to 8. What are your views on that? And how does apps like counting well work? I mean, through, there is a hierarchy that it moves from the teachers to the students or directly to the students, or both the concepts are over there. Please tell us about the concept of the these type of app like counting well, as well as your views on the principles with it.
Sure, sir. So I think everybody is pretty much in agreement on what is one, that mathematics is more about understanding than about numbers, and second, where the problems lie. I think, I'll take this particular point that Manisha ma'am made about kids not being able to do estimation. Right now, estimation, I think that it's a very, very powerful skill. Okay, and what is estimation? So when we did our pilot, the very first time when we did the assessments, we had some questions on estimation, and this was asked to 6th grade students. And the questions were, estimate the product of two numbers, and they were slightly above the zero, thousands or hundreds and so on. And the idea was that they should just give an estimate. What they did actually was that they spent time in multiplying both the numbers and then rounded it off. Now, obviously they got it wrong, because that was not the expectation of the term estimate. Now, estimate can also mean simply that if I am standing near the door, can you estimate the height of the door? Okay. It's very simple. The way math will work is that if I am about 4 foot tall and the door is about 1.5 times taller than me, then the door is roughly about 6 feet tall, right? That's the math of estimation. And we use a similar estimation skills to even validate our answers when we do math problems. Now, the kids are not learning this. Why they're not learning this is how we found out through our assessment. So what we realized is when we gave them this assessment and they were getting it wrong, we sat with some of the maths teachers and we tried to identify what was going on here. And what we learned is that in 5th grade, they had learned rounding off. So in 6th grade, when the subject of estimation came, when the topic of estimation came, they automatically applied the concept of rounding off rather than the concept of estimation. Now, the teachers also said that earlier the kids were actually able to solve estimation problems and now they are not able to do it. So we tried to understand why that is happening. And what we found is that in the 5th grade science earlier, estimation was a concept which was being taught, and now it is not being taught anymore. It has been removed from the syllabus. So because of that, they lost that thread and they picked up the thread on rounding off. So what I'm trying to say is that sometimes it's not simply about the previous knowledge that you should have. Sometimes it is also about the previous misconceptions which keep building up. And we have to be able to identify not just the lack of previous knowledge, but also the previous misconceptions which build up and then they add on to your current knowledge, right? And they actually muddle up your current knowledge. So that's what happens. Now, when does technology, or what kind of role would technology play here? So now the way I see it, if you see, the first time that technology entered the classroom was more or less in the form of smart boards. Okay. Of course, there were computers and computer labs and all that. But in terms of day-to-day teaching in the classroom, it first came in the form of smart boards. Now, the smart boards were just better blackboards. Okay. Then came something on the administrative side. So you had the learning management systems, attendance systems, fee management systems, all those kind of things. This current phase is where the technology is actually becoming a partner to the teaching learning process or partner to the teacher. How it is doing that is, for example, the way we are doing it is that we do these kind of formative assessments when the child is learning. So as a concept is taught, if the teacher says that go home and do this concept as a homework on counting well, they would answer just a few questions. And based on that, we would determine what are the learning gaps. Is it because of a specific skill? Do they not understand the problem? Is there a modeling problem? Is there a problem of understanding the concept itself? Is there something from the previous classes which they did not know? So based on that, now we are able to identify what these learning gaps are. We are able to provide the first level remedial intervention to the child as well, right there. So as soon as that gap has been identified, that is the best time to fix it. So that's where we provide that remedial intervention. And the next day, the teacher sees a report, what these learning gaps were. Now, the child does not know that actually a test was being conducted. It just feels like a homework. But what is actually happening is that now we are empowering the teacher with data. So the other side of this whole thing is also, I think, that the way, we keep saying that teachers are good, teachers are not good, teaching process is not good, all these kind of things we keep bringing up. But then are we giving the teachers the right tools to help them overcome all these hurdles, right? If we don't give them that, so for example, one of the things is, when we talk to about a product to some schools, some teachers, they say, does it align with Bloom's taxonomy? And we say, yes, it aligns. Now, what is that Bloom's taxonomy? They only know about this triangle. It goes up and, it starts with one level up, and then it goes to higher order thinking skills, and then it goes to analytical skills and so on, right? Now, are you actually aligning it with what you're teaching in the classroom? Or are you simply saying that, for this lower order skill, this is the keyword, for higher order skill, this is the keyword, and that's all, right? That's just paying lip service to the whole thing, right? We are not actually trying to understand how that whole Bloom's taxonomy and its alignment to the pedagogy and to the curriculum actually affects the learning of the child. Now, if we are able to bring this in as a tool to the teacher and say that, look, here is the lack of analytical skill. Okay, now you learned all this in Bloom's taxonomy. You are actually seeing this in action, that the lack of analytical skill is causing this problem for the child. So you have to fill this before you go up. Or here is the lack of conceptual knowledge. And if you don't have that lower order thinking skill, you will not be able to take the child up to the higher order skill. So if we are able to do that alignment and show them that data, then it becomes a tool for the teacher. So that's what we are building. So we are now bringing technology to create and to capture all this data and show it to the teacher. So this way, the teacher now uses it as a tool and says that I have this data, and based on this data, I can do my lesson planning, I can do my planning for interventions, and I can even guide the parents as to where they should intervene or they should help the child. So I hope that answers. I went quite a bit in a circle, but that's what technology should be doing, right? It's not simply about instead of taking attendance on the register, you take it on a computer. It has to go beyond. Technology has that capability, and we should bring it to the classroom. So that's what we want to do.
So two things I got it. I mean, it's very interesting. The second thing is that it is one-to-one. The child doesn't feels upset that somebody is looking to me. Second thing. And the first thing is that you told me that right now you are giving free of cost to the schools. So that is very important thing, that you are giving free to the schools. That is the first thing, what is more important, because abhi ek jakhmi hote hain 2 saal ke baad, so we don't have funds, extra funds to invest. Please tell about that also, sir.
I know, sir. I know we fortunately have some funds to invest. So we decided that at least for this year, we should not be burdening the schools or the children with the cost, right? So that's why we have made it entirely free for the school. The school is able to do this whole process, and the child is able to go through this whole homework process for no cost. The other interesting thing, I think what Deepa ma'am brought up is about the engagement, right? So with technology, if we are able to bring in gamification, we are able to bring in more enthusiasm in the child by giving this, self-paced environment, by giving an environment which is non-intimidating for the child. The child is not being watched over by anybody. If the child makes a mistake, then nobody is actually pointing the finger, but the app itself is showing the child the right way and moving the child forward. Then that becomes a great learning environment for the child. So that's, I think that kind of environment is very, very important, right? It makes the child feel, it builds the confidence in the child that, yes, I can do this. Sometimes the other thing, what happens is that in the classroom, if the teacher writes on the board, you always feel that you have understood, because at the end, you see the correct answer, right? So you say, oh, this is how it is. I got the correct answer. But the problem is that you also have to understand how that answer was arrived at. And when they go home and try to do the same thing, they are not able to do it, right? So then again, we go back to the same example. Then I copy it from my best student in the class and then just show it as a homework. But the point is that we have to be able to inculcate that thought process in the child. So one of the things that we do again is that we do that step-by-step problem solving, or even the kind of questions we ask are step by step. So we make the child think, what is that next step? What is that next step? Understand the steps before solving the problem, before coming to the answer.
But sir, actually the problem is in one line that when we talk about mathematics, they are being told that you have to put up this formula over here. But why you have to put up this, why is not cleared. That is why always there is problem.
That is true.
So that revolves around this one sentence only, that this has to be done. This formula a plus b whole square has to be put, but why? And why we have derived this formula a square plus b square plus 2ab? How is this being derived? So derivations or why this is being done, if this is clear to the people, to the students, the maths will become more interesting.
Absolutely.
Right. So thank you so much, sir. And I hope this will be a very great, it's getting a very great help. The students are getting great help with the schools which are using apps like Counting Well. Thank you so much, sir. We'll come up to the next round. As we are in very shortage of time, request to the participants to make an answer in 60 seconds only. We'll come up to Meenakshi ma'am. Meenakshi ma'am, in 1 minute, suggest us a few ways how the teacher can make maths more interesting.
So there is no one size fit all solution for maths. This is what I feel. So, but yes, few already it has been given, the engagement for the students are like few games for maths, visual arts, and picture books. But here I would like to mention one book actually, which we are using here and which I brought it to the schools and I have suggested to many schools. Like we say G for Google and A for Apple. There's a alphabet book for maths by David M. Schwesker. So this helps small kids a lot to from 4th grade actually, which it can emphasize on the maths, particularly clearing the concepts. But the last thing which I have to say is focus on the students, and there is n number of technology. It is the endless list of technologies in today's world, but it should be student-centered learning technologies rather than making the subject interesting or engaging the students. It should be focused only on the students' learning techniques. So then only the concepts will be clear. And there are n number of, you have Vedic maths, you have Abacus, you have Byju's, you have now Counting Bells, you have different apps to clear the concepts, to make your concepts more clear. And the technology is definitely there. But you should, the students or the parents or the schools should see whether it is child-centric or not.
Right. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Manisha ma'am, your views. Muted. You're muted, ma'am.
Yes, thank you so much. I always talk about, we have also got to know about technology and games, gamification, e-games, artificial intelligence, which is playing so important role for making maths interesting. But I will also like to talk about the beauty of mathematics. There is also a beauty of mathematics. Why we have made mathematics as a very scary and dry subject? Isn't it? Let's tell children, let's take a visit in the garden and just observe the leaves, the flowers, every petal is similar. So the concept of symmetry can be very well taught. So that's what I'm saying. There is also beauty and joy in mathematics. The concept of symmetry, so many things can be taught about the surroundings all around. And other than that, why not story? I'm a storyteller and I say so many story camps can be woven around with the concept of mathematics. And it's not only just for grade 1 and 2, it is for also class 9, 10, 10, and also for dramatization of class 11, because it adds variety and joy in the mathematics. Otherwise, it becomes very boring and sometimes dry. Let's make the mathematics more joyful and add beauty to it also. Thank you so much.
That's amazing, man. That's a wonderful answer you have given. Thank you so much. We'll come up to Rosie Jain, ma'am. Rosie, ma'am, it is often seen that children try to learn mathematics instead of understanding it. What are your suggestions to the teachers who teach them?
Okay, beautiful question, sir. So I would suggest that we should have the high expectation on the students. That is number one.
Number two, we should give them strong support, right? So how we can do this? So sometimes what happens is we lower our expectations and student is having phobia about the mathematics. First of all, we have to instill the confidence in the students, and we have to enhance the self-efficacy of the students, that everyone can learn mathematics, everyone, but only need is perseverance, hard work, dedication, that is required. So students should have the confidence. Number two is, I would suggest, if first of all that we should see if 85% students are passing and 15% are not getting the concept, it's okay. Otherwise, if you see the percentage is more who is not able to understand the concept, it means something is wrong at the instructional level. As Nirmal Shah has said earlier, that what they have noticed, that teachers are also not able to understand the concept themselves. So whether that is the condition, that has to be noticed. As I'll give you one example. In PISA, our country participated and we scored 72 second position out of 74 countries. And it was noticed like grade 4 students, Slim Study said, grade 4 student, they could not measure the length of the pencil, and so was with the teachers. So whether the child is suffering because of the wrong teaching practices, or there is problem in the mindset of the child. And mindset, if the child is not interested, the thing is that why the child is not interested, he or she is thinking that it is not an interesting subject. If you will show, suppose one person is a player, right, and he has no interest in the mathematics, you can say that maths is required for the players also. If you can't measure the speed, you can't estimate the speed of ball, how you can decide whether you have to hit or not? So that's way the interest has to be created amongst the students. And one more thing I'll suggest, so many things are being said earlier, technology involvement can be one thing, and there are the methods for cooperative learning. Like what we can do is, the biggest problem was one of the ma'am has suggested there was vocabulary teaching book for the mathematics, है? So she was naming, I guess, yes, है?
Yeah.
So same way, what we can do is, it means what is the problem? We have to teach them mathematical language. We have to make them involved in the vocabulary. What does the math vocabulary says? So what we can do for that, there are few strategies, like one of that is directed reading thinking activities. What we can do is, we can involve the 4 students, we can give them one problem. One student has to read the statement, the other one has to explain the statement, third one has to propose the student, and fourth one has to do the computation. Like that, they can do that. They can get involved without knowing, like they don't know the solution, they can role play and they can do it. The another one is mentor mentee. We can assign one student for the help, teacher can guide, and this we can give the support. And third one is think aloud. As earlier I told, one problem I have discussed in my previous question I have, if suppose one problem is given, we say like if you have a garden of 441 square meter and you have to do the wiring around the fence, so what would be the solution? How much wire is needed? Now think aloud says what? The child has to read the solution statement aloud, and then the other one what has to do is the loud thinking they have to do. Okay, what is being given? This is teacher-led activity. What is being given? Area is being given. And what is required? Parameter is required for that. And how to calculate the parameter? 4 multiplied by side is required. It means what we have to do is, we have to find out the side. And now how you will find out the side? You have to find the square root of the area. You will get it. 441 square root. If the child knows how you will solve that square root, means like this.
So ma'am, we can say that what you want to say is that it should be not be a teacher-oriented class. It should be a child-oriented class,
Yes.
as well as practical examples should be taken. Then only
Yeah.
maths will become interesting. Like the example you have taken, that 4 children should be taken. Likewise, there are n number of things which can be taken.
Yeah.
Also, although we are also talking about the tools, about the technology also, see, the teacher importance will remain always. Technology will always remain a tool for sure, ma'am. And we can make the maths more interesting by making it child oriented as well as example oriented also. Right, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Hema, ma'am, over to you, ma'am. Your views to the teachers.
Uh, yes, I agree with what Rosie ma'am gave the examples, Manisha ma'am gave examples. See, for this, two things I think is important. One is if the teacher is trained, if you give them the awareness, training, because new things are coming in the market. Even if we talk about technology, the update, the teachers will have to update themselves. The training related to that, the awareness related to that is important. We see that there are everyone is unique. Like we are talking about learners. Similarly, when we talk about teachers, there are different teachers we have. So some are very passionate. They, you just give them a small hint, they will search, they will collaborate, they will do the things on their own, and they will make the subject very interesting for the students. They will engage the students in different ways. And we have heard, for last 1 hour, we are hearing that what different kinds can be there. One is everyone agrees that if the things are related with the surrounding, then it will be interesting. They should know the purpose, ki kis liye hum padh rahe hain, the relevance of it. So this is one thing. Second is there are teachers who are not very flexible. They are rigid, and after giving trainings, after telling them that no, now you have to teach the subject like this, they will not learn. Then technology is one good medium and tool where they can, with the help of this ready-made thing, they can do. Otherwise, as a teacher, if they have these skills, if they are they have we give them training, they can do on their own. For example, now in CBSE we have art integration. On 1 hour before your session, I was taking the same thing, art integration across curriculum. So where we were, I told them that even what Manisha ma'am was giving the example, that we can integrate art into your math subject through storytelling, through songs you can teach. So this is why we are saying we have to make the subject a fun, engaging one, and that will attract the students. Then the fear, the stress, the anxiety we are talking about learning maths will not be there. So, and technology is, I think, for those teachers who on their own don't work, research, or collaborate with others. They don't create something new to attract the students. And then the ready-made thing, like what Sir Counting Will or other apps will help them, because games are there. Through games they are learning, through different technology. And if they are not able to analyze or know their learner, then this apps are helping them to tell them, okay, this particular area of that child is not weak. So we have to first know what is the interest area of the learner, and accordingly, if that interest is not there, then it is our duty as a teacher to make them understand the subject, to have the love of that subject, and that will come if trainings are given, if they are updated, they keep on learning the new things. And art, through sports, through other subjects, they can learn maths. And the only thing is they should know the purpose, कि मैं क्यों maths पढ़ रहा हूँ, why I'm learning this subject, and what this subject is going to help me, how it is going to help me in long run in my life. So I think if properly trained, the teachers are trained, then
you're absolutely right, ma'am. Hema ma'am, you're absolutely right. But one more thing, because these 2 years the children had been using the gadgets which we were taking away, and we had given them to use that, and now it is seen that they don't have reading habits. They don't want to pick up the books, though they shuffle the books and all, and the way they want to study, the way we should teach them. The teacher, a smart teacher, even a good teacher is also there. They should also, I feel, my personal, thinking is that they should also use the technology, because this era is, I think after a few years, after 5 years or 10 years, books won't be used. So the era is that we have to make them learn according to the world. If pandemic would haven't come, then this the positive only side we got from the pandemic was the technology only. So which came 10 years before, and now without technology, nothing is over there. So maybe the technology is also very helpful to the kids, wherein I have seen personally with at my home also, like Sir Nirmal Sir said, as well in the classes, students don't want to ask, even they want to ask questions, because everybody will make fun of me. And of course, this will bring up the level of the students, and maths is very interesting subject and the easiest subject. As an accountancy teacher, it comes in 11th only. So the first question is, sir, how easy or difficult accountancy is? I told them that this is the easiest subject on the earth. तो डॉक्टर अगर पहले ही बोल देता है कि बेटा बहुत कंडीशन खराब है, बचने नहीं वाले हो, तो पहले ही मर गया वो तो आधे से ज्यादा. So this happens with the mathematics. Now mathematics is going to be a very big thing for you. अब ये trigonometry और ये सब तुम्हारा जो algebra आ गया ना, अब तो तुम नहीं बच पाओगे. Teacher, parents, the tuition teacher, the peer pressure, and now this is something very big thing now. So that thing has to be removed. Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll come up to Deepa ma'am. Deepa ma'am, a very short answer we'll be needing. Your views on the saying the post-pandemic children have become smart, thus teachers have to become more smarter with the use of technology.
As all of them have said, I don't want to repeat on that, but still, as we said, the technology, the teachers have to now understand that there was a fear even in their mind that, the technology, how they will get accustomed to this technology. Even now, there are people who create, you have an innate fear that I'm not that good as a student is in using the technology. That factor has to go out of the mind of the teacher. They have to understand that by 2025, it will be a technology world completely. We will have to go for technology. So we have to upgrade our skills as teachers but then to analyze which all sites can be used and to which student. There are different type of learners in our classrooms. So to which student, which type of matter can be given, that is the responsibility of every teacher to become more smart in this new era. And as Steve Jobs himself have said, he has created a number of computers for different, more than anyone in this world. He has used more of computers. But what is more important is the teacher in the classroom. Why the teacher becomes important in the classroom is the teacher is the one who incites your curiosity and feeds the curiosity. So the role of teacher is, far ahead than machines can do. And so the machines cannot do this curiosity. So the teacher has to become more smart with technological devices itself to arouse the curiosity in the child. So you have to be more smarter than children, because in getting information is now a wide open for everybody. So how to do that and how to become more smart is the capability of the teacher, and the teacher is nobody can substitute the teacher. So teachers have to become more smart.
Absolutely right, ma'am. Absolutely right, ma'am. Technology has to be used by the present teacher. Without that, they will fail or may not be so much successful with the present 21st century students. Thank you so much, ma'am. Coming back to Nirmal sir. Nirmal sir, first of all, your views on the second round, which the principals have told about. And please let us know about that, how this is. 2 years, there was a learning gap. The students were giving examination online. Online Google Baba helped a lot for all the subjects, as well as the students. They were chatting and they were sending the answers. There was a common group. तो वो जो इंटीग्रिटी थी वो तो बहुत सारी दिखी when the exams are going on, but at the very same time there were 2 years learning gaps, especially with the mathematics. So how is app like counting well trying to decide that what is the mental level or the solving level of the child? First of all, your views on the principles.
Sure. So I think I'll sum up the views of everybody here in just one line, that the 21st century child needs the 21st century teacher. Right? It's as simple as that. The kind of technology and the kind of access to information that the child has means that the teacher has to have at least the same access, if not more. And only then will the teacher be able to be on par with the child and guide the child. Ultimately, of course, the child can never learn without a teacher. all amount of technology, any amount of YouTube videos, there is always going to be that gap which a teacher in person will only be able to fill, right? If the teacher is able to show the child that I am on par with you by showing that I know the same technology that you do, I went and I've seen the same YouTube video that you have also seen, but now I will help you solve your doubt about it, right? The point is that. So that's why I am here as a teacher. You saw the video, I also saw the video. Now you have a doubt. That video is not going to solve it. I am here to solve it for you. So that's the role that the teacher has to play. And the teacher has to be aligned with what the child is doing in order to be able to do that. So that's how I see, all the statements that were made here in few minutes back.
Yes, absolutely right, sir. One thing more, that when the students were studying online, they were not so much satisfied. They were only satisfied when they came to the class. Same thing will happen when they will study online, see the videos, but gradually will grasp when the teacher will practically
Exactly.
on the green board, they will tell them that this is how you have to do. So that is a type of help to them, support to them. Yes, sir.
And the second part, I think, like what all these learning gaps and learning deficits which have come, I think the important aspect around this whole thing is the personalization of the learning for the child, right? So each child has developed different kinds of learning gaps, whether it is, because of the concept, whether it is because of the skill, whether it is because of lack of attention, all of these. So we have to be able to identify and fill the learning gaps in each of these areas. So again, technology can not just identify these learning gaps, but it can personalize a learning plan for the child. Now, how it helps the teacher also is that the teacher, it comes back to the same thing, that 40 minutes, 40 students, how much personalization will the teacher be able to do in the classroom? If I spend 1 minute per child, then I've spent 40 minutes just spending on each child, and I have not moved forward with my syllabus. So as a teacher, I'm trying to balance my curriculum, my syllabus. I have to complete it in a time frame. At the same time, I have to give this personalized attention. So, technology, apps like Counting Well can bring that personalized attention and personalized learning for the child in order to help them overcome this learning deficit. And then by doing that, they are bringing the child on par with the rest of the children in the class, or at least close to each other. And that way, then when the teacher starts new concepts, they are able to basically assume at least that the kids will be more or less on the same start line. And therefore, I can start a new concept with confidence that the kids will understand what I'm trying to teach, and they will not be stuck in the past, right? In the past chapters.
Right. So what is the 20 minutes concept you told us that, they should not get, indulge into the gadget using only?
Yeah. So what we realized also is that even I, as a parent, right, I don't like my son to be using the mobile phone for a very long time. So on the one side, I see that I don't want to use let my son do this. At the same time, I'm sitting here and I've created an app. So how do I balance that, right? Because I want people to use my app. So what we realize is that we have to be able to create a way for the child to learn in a short time. Now, how do we do that? So what we did was we broke up, like if you take one class, 6 standard words, we broke it up into almost 300 learning outcomes. And we said that each learning outcome can be linked with very small micro learning content. It can have some videos, some interactive text, some interactive content, question answers, all of that together. But can we then create the content structure in such a way that each learning outcome can be achieved with about 5 to 7 minutes of learning? So that's how we created it. So then what we did was we said that today you learn for 20 minutes, you will achieve 3 to 4 learning outcomes, and that's it. No need to learn anymore today. So child with too much screen time, we are also meeting the child's attention span, so to speak, right? The children beyond 20 minutes, they will anyway not have too much attention. They will start getting bored. So we are meeting that. And we are also giving the child the confidence that, yes, today I've learned something. 3, 4 learning objectives achieved, move forward tomorrow, move forward tomorrow. And, at that pace also, within 6 months, they will be able to achieve everything.
That's great, sir. A wonderful thing you have created, sir. All the best to you. And hopefully we all will be using Counting Well. Thanks to you. We are giving it free of cost also. Coming up to the last part of the session, that is the session where we request the participants to sing 2 lines. because Rosie ma'am is the new one. So as a ragging part or whatever you say, ma'am, you have to start up with this. And the Punjab and the Punjabis have to start up in the beginning. Although everybody has already sung in the previous sessions also, they will also sing after you, ma'am. Only 2 lines. Anything in Hindi, Punjabi, whatever you feel like, 2 lines or original, anything you want to say. Traditional, or it may be, devotional, it may be filmy, it may be patriotic, anything, ma'am. 2 lines only. Everybody has to sing. Yo.
Thank you. So this is my life philosophy. So I'll sing couplet. किसी की मुस्कुराहटों पे हो निसार, किसी का दर्द मिल सके तो ले उधार, किसी के वास्ते हो तेरे दिल में प्यार, जीना इसी का नाम है.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's amazing, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. You have put up the name of Ludhiana for sure. We'll come up to Meenakshi, ma'am. Meenakshi, ma'am, you said you are the youngest one.
Yes, sir.
So over to you now.
I am still the youngest. I have to learn a lot from everybody today, and I've learned a lot, seriously. I've learned so much today, and I'm really privileged to be here again to, learn so much. And your platform is such, like every time, this is the second time I'm been here, and I really enjoy the time, and I seriously don't know when the time gets over. You tell every time to sing, so I'm like, again, it is like, oh my God, I have to sing again. But the thing here, it is the beautiful app that the gentleman has brought today. It's very useful, so I think we can also go for it. Song is necessary. Any other thing is not necessary. Singing a song, apart from singing a song, sir?
Only singing a song, ma'am. That will be out of syllabus. You will sing something else. Something else.
So चलते चलते कट जाए रस्ते, जिंदगी यूं ही चलती रहे, खुशी मिले या गम बदलेंगे ना हम, दुनिया चाहे बदलती रहे. Thank you.
That's great, ma'am. Who wants to be the second youngest one? Hema, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am. You are the boss, ma'am. हमारी boss तो है कम से कम आप.
Sir, I am not good in singing, पर मैं एक song है, जब जीरो दिया मेरे भारत ने, मेरे भारत ने दुनिया को तब गिनती आई. So this I am using as an example in my sessions. जब आप मैथ्स को इंटरेस्टिंग बनाते हैं तो these songs can also help. तो ये एक हमारे टीचर ने टेस्टेड है. अगर आप because at the end I ask questions कि आप क्या क्या करते हो. तो in one of my sessions someone shared, one of the teachers, कि ये इस तरह का भी song आप देंगे बच्चों को तो they will उन्होंने questions इसमें पूछा कि इसमें मैथ से related कितने terms हैं या कितने words हैं. तो they added कि मुश्किल भी एक मैथ्स का word है. So then आप सोच सकते हो how they imagine, how they're curious. So मुश्किल इसलिए because problems है मैथ्स में, डर के लिए भी बोला. So that is their own imagination. So मैं इस गाने को बोलूंगी. मेरे को ऐसा गाना आता नहीं है, इसमें से मैंने देख के बोल रही हूँ. तो इसमें तारों की भाषा भारत ने दुनिया को पहले सिखाया, देता न दशमलव भारत तो यूं चांद पे जाना मुश्किल था, धरती और चांद की दूरी का अंदाजा लगाना मुश्किल था. तो सी हाउ मेनी डिफरेंट टर्म्स आर देयर, वर्ड्स है जो कि रिलेटेड डिस्टेंस.
मैम ओनली सॉन्ग, मैम.
थैंक यू. मेरे को नहीं आता सर.
मैम ओनली सॉन्ग, नो ज्ञान मैम राइट नाउ.
ओके, थैंक यू.
दिस इज मी टाइम. सर 2 लाइनें आप कोई गा दीजिए.
सर मैंने सुना दिया, मैं गा नहीं.
आप ये बताइए आपने सर के लिए कभी गाना नहीं गाया?
मैं गाना नहीं आता सर. और कौन सा गाना?
कौन कहता है नहीं आता? आपने जो सर के लिए पहला गाना गाया था या कभी गाना गाया था? वरना मैं लखनऊ आके सर को रिपोर्ट करूंगा, सर कैसी क्या बात है. हेमा मैम ऑलराउंडर हो के आपको गाना तक नहीं सुनाया उन्होंने?
गाना कैसे सुना अभी मुझे अच्छा
कुछ भी याद करिए मैम, आप तो वर्सेटाइल है मैम.
कहाँ सर, अभी मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा है. आप कहिए.
चलिए मैं वापस आ रहा हूँ. आई एम कमिंग बैक टू यू. बाय दैट टाइम यू शुड गेट रेडी. आप देखिए मनीषा मैम 1 मिनट में सुना देंगी.
मैं जिंदगी का साथ निभाता चला गया, पर फिक्र को धुएं में उड़ाता चला गया.
मैम स्मोकिंग इज इंजीरियस टू हेल्थ मैम, नो वेज मैम। धुआं का मतलब ये जो है कोहरे का धुआं भी हो सकता है, खुशी का धुआं भी हो सकता है। थैंक यू सो मच मैम, ब्यूटीफुल वॉइस यू हैव मैम। अगली बारी व्हेन यू आर कमिंग यू शुड कम अप विद अ मच four lines with that. Deepa ma'am, by the time Hema ma'am is original song again ma'am, this time also ma'am, मजा आ जाता आपकी आवाज से सुनते हैं तो।
For me, I mean, I don't know how to sing. The only thing which we don't know is singing. Other things, whatever we.
Ma'am, I always say we are genies.
It's okay.
We are all rounders.
I come from Kerala, so I'll just two lines about Kerala itself. Keralam, Keralam, Keli konduyarunna Keralam, Keli kadambum പൂക്കുമെൻ കേരളം, കേളി കേളി സദനമമെൻ കേരളം. Okay, thank you.
You're talking something good about Kerala. That's a very good place and you should come over there.
The beats of Kerala and the art forms of Kerala, all these things are reflected into this.
Ma'am, while Pookolam, they do play the song, right, ma'am?
Yeah, like this is when we put the like the Pookalam and we are more into the festivals of temple festivals and all that sort of that Vallamkali and all, no, like boat race and all. Come during the Onam days, please come, call me, we'll all meet.
Sure ma'am, sure. Thank you so much.
I'm inviting you, all of you, to Delhi. Please do come, huh? Chandok
Yes,
sir,
sir.
I've already committed to you.
Sure, yes ma'am. Sure ma'am, we will put we'll have
Can
a
I
program.
can I
one day
have
conference in my school?
Sure ma'am.
can I have an exit also now because it's raining and
1 minute more ma'am. Hema ma'am
Yeah.
has left, you won't listen to
okay,
us.
ma'am has to sing. I have
Hema
to
ma'am has
travel one
left.
more hour now
My-
from school.
Only 1 minute more ma'am. Hema ma'am will be singing. She has got ready with everything.
सर आप तो मेरे को एक तो ठीक है। नीले गगन के तले धरती का प्यार पले, ऐसे ही जग में आती है सुबह है, ऐसे ही शाम ढले। थैंक यू।
Thanks, Hema ma'am.
Ma'am, so beautiful voice you
The
have when
master
you
of
sing
all.
and master of all. You,
Sonorous and soulful voice.
ma'am, we will be having a show with Indian Idol where only the principals will be there. And Emma ma'am, at least you will be there in the quarterfinal. So at least आप जाएंगी. You will be there for sure. And I have found out so many
सर
good
आज
principals.
आज आपने मुझे इतना वो किया है, क्या बोलते हैं,
पैम्पर किया है।
पैम्पर नहीं किया, मजाक किया है।
No ma'am. No ma'am, not at all.
बहुत नर्वस हो गई थी।
It was all genuine words.
Lucknow connection is really working well today.
No ma'am, आपका मजाक नहीं हम कर सकते मैम। यूपी में रहना है,
सर
कानपुर
क्या
में रहना है मैम।
इतना बोलेंगे तो मजाक ही लगेगा।
नहीं मैम, नहीं मैम।
वैसे
From the bottom of my heart, I have a lot of respect for you, and you are my senior. I always regard you as my senior, ma'am. I'll always remain your junior only, जितने भी बड़े हो जाए। Thank you so much, Hema ma'am.
We are honored कि आपने हमें बुलाया and the sharing the knowledge we are sharing
Pleasure is
here
mine,
in
ma'am.
this platform.
I will share the contacts between you each other. You should also know each other. I'll be sharing the contacts. Thank you, Hema ma'am, Nirbal sir, Rosie ma'am, Manisha
Thank you,
ma'am,
everyone.
Meenakshi ma'am, Deepa ma'am. It was wonderful
As
having
it
you
is
on the
said, ये
show.
दोस्ती हम
so
नहीं
much.
भूलेंगे।
हाँ,
So much, Chandok sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
And looking
everyone.
forward,
Thank
Mr. Nirmal Shah.
Sure.
You're also counting well.
Sure, ma'am. I'll share the numbers, contact numbers with each other. Thank you, sir.
Chandok sir,
Yes.
why
Thank
two gentlemen were left for singing? This is not fair. You have
Yeah,
told
this is, there has to be gender parity.
So you cannot exit. Please fast. You
Ma'am,
can have 2 lines.
मैम इनकी मैम प्रैक्टिकली बता रहा हूँ।
You have forced all the ladies and
Ma'am, just wait, ma'am.
All the ladies have sung very gracefully. 2 men should not be left. Please, you are the host. Please
Yes,
go ahead.
Meenakshi, right.
I can say that he is very good at mathematics and counting well, but गाना सुनना पड़ेगा तो फिर आप कुछ मुझे कहिएगा नहीं।
Yeah, this will be the goodbye song.
Goodbye sir, no sir, you can't say goodbye sir. आप तो नाराज हो गए सर, हम तो मजाक कर रहे थे सर। सर प्लीज, अगर काउंटिंग वेल ने सब जगह काउंट करना है तो यू हैव टू सिंग अ सॉन्ग।
सर ये जब सिंगिंग वाला जो आपका पार्ट आता है उस टाइम पे मैं इसीलिए चुप हो जाता हूँ कि आई होप दैट पीपल विल फॉरगेट दैट आई एम हियर नाउ। and maybe assume that I've left.
नहीं नहीं, थोड़ा रुक जाएगी तो तेरा क्या जाएगा, तो पहले गाना गाएंगे तभी तो काम चल पाएगा, तो आपको करना पड़ेगा सर.
ठीक है.
Please.
जिंदगी कैसी है पहेली हाय, कभी ये हंसाए कभी ये रुलाए. That's all. Thank you.
Sir, are you
Very
taking
good, very
singing
good.
classes?
Very good.
You have to tell me personally. You have started taking singing classes now. क्योंकि आपकी दिन ब दिन
क्लासेस की
आपकी जो
जरूरत ही
गाने
नहीं है
हैं.
सर. आपके साथ मैं 8-9 एपिसोड कर चुका हूँ. यही मेरी क्लास है.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's already raining. Deepa ma'am has to go. Thank you so much, Hema ma'am, Nirmal sir, Manisha ma'am, Rosie ma'am, Benakshi ma'am, Deepa ma'am. Hope to see you again in the next
All
season.
our
Next
pleasure, Chandok sir.
My pleasure, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.